Chapter 313. This was the fourth city of the former Dom territory, also known as the Slave City, but now, it had been renamed Crocodile City. A particle accelerator research center was located inside, where researchers were working diligently. The large feet of the Crocodile King slammed against the ground, but the specialists were used to it. The Crocodile King came to inquire about the progress of their spatial teleportation black hole development. Below, many energy carriers shaped like large batteries were stacked high. A specialist stepped forward and replied that they had successfully created a black hole large enough for mid-level creatures to pass through. However, for a size suitable for the Crocodile Emperor, they still needed more time. Optimistically, his team would need around 4 months to complete it. The crocodile's eyes drooped slightly, but it still thanked the team of specialists for their efforts and hoped they would pay attention to it. Of course, none of these people dared to be lazy. It was just that 4 months was a time that wasn't too long, but also not short. The young specialist was stunned, never expecting to receive such a kind thank you from a catastrophe-level creature. He even felt as though he had spoken to a human rather than a mutated beast, and wondered if there was a human behind the monster. He didn't know. The mutated beasts of Misty Mountain had all been affected by the spirit waves of their master. After a long time, a process of shared resonance vibration would occur. The drill spun and bored powerfully into the large stone. The human construction team was trying to deal with this huge boulder, but it seemed to be metal, wasn't it? It was fortunate that they had brought large-sized drills, along with many other advanced equipment. But ultimately, this huge metal boulder was too hard. After a while, the construction team still couldn't break it. The team leader would probably consider proposing to change the route to go around it. Suddenly, a high-ranking commander arrived, with non-human feet. As soon as he arrived, he asked them to leave it to him to handle. It was the Golden Ant. He slowly stepped forward, activated his X5 strength buff, and shot toward the large metal boulder blocking the path. Then, he executed a thrust with his pincer, and immediately, a long crack appeared on the boulder, emitting a deafening sound. The large metal boulder was immediately broken down into many small pieces, which fell to the ground, shocking the workers. The excavator nearby was directly destroyed. The area under the boulder was crushed, leaving almost no gap. That was why slowpokes like these would have to die. Suddenly, gravity was reversed by the power of the bull demon. The guy gritted his teeth and covered his head, accepting a painful death. But if the bull demon was here, it wouldn't happen. He lifted all the objects in front of him, while the workers kept marveling at how lucky they had been. The bull demon didn't forget to curse the Golden Ant for being an idiot, about to kill his own people. Just as well the Golden Ant had just returned. Actually, it wasn't that he wanted to kill them, but more that he didn't really care about them. In the sixth city, the workers in the construction crew could only widen their eyes and gulp, watching the city manager perform a magic trick with earth and sand. Ching Chong's statue, which he had created himself, stood at the highest point of the city. He didn't know how to describe the handsome statue, so Ching Chong could only look at it for a long time. Then finally he thought of a word: perfect. The two guys immediately took out their business cards, then approached Ching Chong, inviting him to work for their company, promising presidential treatment with a super high salary and full benefits. Lan Feng's younger sister, from afar, looked at Ching Chong for a while, and marveled at how talented he was. He was also honest and good at cooking. He would be a great marriage partner. Damn it! How could Lan Feng give his sister to that rotten friend? Aki's group still had to work hard these days, never daring to let their guard down, as every target would be discovered early from the sky. And below, the last surviving individuals of the Wind Wolf pack were also patrolling. They controlled the scents in the wind. Then suddenly, they discovered something. The Wind Wolf's eyes contracted. 2 purple streaks of light moved very fast in the sky, bringing a powerful and unfamiliar aura. Then they landed noisily on the ground, next to the large rock outcroppings. And in the dust, 2 figures, one large and one small, appeared. That's right, it was the 2 figures who were targeting the Crocodile Emperor in the previous chapter. They had decided to act immediately without hesitation. As soon as he arrived, the larger one complained that their spatial teleportation area was too small, but the other one knew his friend was just too big. He wondered if the teleportation information was wrong, because apart from a gloomy sky and a silent forest, he couldn't see anything. Of course, the overall position wasn't wrong, but there was a slight discrepancy. Because in front of them was the slave city, where their target was. Now they would slowly make their way to that city. There was no need to rush, there was plenty of time. These two didn't realize that their aura was too strong. All the creatures around them could sense it, including this golden monkey. The monkey immediately stood up, gripping his long staff tightly. Clearly, this aura didn't belong to Earth's creatures. Thus, he guessed that they were the enemy, then tightened his grip on the staff in his hand. This creature, within the protected area of Misty Mountain, didn't hesitate and shot off. The divine tree was very far from the mainland. His position was still on Dragon Island. Over here, the elephant's legs had collapsed. The mutated mammoth had failed. His entire body was bruised. Clearly, this was a serious practice match. In front of thousands of mutated beasts, the victor was the Golden Dragon of Dragon Island. The Golden Dragon roared loudly, angrily scolding that the elephant was too weak. Was it really one of the 10 fierce beasts? As soon as the arrogant words were spoken, the mutated wolf rushed in for a duel, with an imposing aura. As soon as it arrived, it slapped the Golden Dragon in the face. The blow was quite powerful. The Golden Dragon realized that this guy wasn't as good as him, but also not much worse. Of course, the wolf had to correct him that he was the king of combat on land. And so, close combat between them began. It had to be said that close combat wasn't the Golden Dragon's full strength. In this match, he had truly restrained his power. It was just that the mammoth, after his defeat, quietly left in silence. He was one of the 10 famous fierce beasts under the Divine Tree's command. Above, the 9-tailed fox was still observing everything. At this moment, she realized something, and a flash of murderous intent appeared in her eyes. Want to defeat the Golden Dragon? End of Chapter 313. Chapter 314. The birds of Aki's team glided in the sky. It was now late afternoon, and darkness was gradually covering them. Aki had observed something earlier and was now following the trail of the intruders. Below were the ruins of the battle. A long, straight canyon had appeared, cutting across the range, and light couldn't penetrate to the bottom. The two figures had taken that path to avoid any unnecessary attention. The large one, seeing that they still had a long way to go, wanted to continue chatting. But at this moment, the smaller one was surprised. Because someone had arrived to block their path. The leader of the Wind Wolves declared in a low voice that the two of them were not allowed to go any further. Seeing this, the big one laughed joyfully because he had finally found some fun. Then, the eye on his face glowed. In Crocodile City, the sky was gradually turning to night. The Crocodile Emperor had sensed a strong and unfamiliar aura, and he instinctively stopped. He calculated how strong these intruders were, and the result was, they were very strong. In just a flash, the Wind Wolf was defeated. It seemed that it was really dead because the difference in strength was too great. It's just that the Wind Wolf had done his duty as a guard, ready to confront any intruder. Now, the smaller one urged his companion to hurry up. They still needed to keep moving. At this moment, a series of threats appeared, making him jump and become alert. Bright yellow streaks of spirit energy shot out, hitting them and bouncing off. The small one was surprised. In that moment, the Wind Wolf had disappeared from his grasp. It was the doing of those birds. Aki's team had intervened and saved the Wind Wolf. The Wind Wolf and Aki were originally the first members of Misty Mountain's army. Now, there were not many of those members left. He recognized these birds as a rare species, with extremely high speed and attack abilities like fighter jets, while the large one found it appetizing. He wanted to roast them and eat them. These words made Aki furious, and he shrieked in the air. The other two birds immediately transformed into fire rockets, shooting off with terrifying speed. After a long journey of constant evolution and fighting, the speed of this peregrine species had reached Mach 15, and they were the fastest species at Misty Mountain. Its thrust could inflict a fatal wound by directly piercing the enemy. However, the other guy had used a different approach. He pulled a bright object from his hand, along with a deadly stream of spirit energy. Then, he slashed across, cutting straight through the body of the bird that was flying towards him. This attack would turn their own speed into a weapon that harmed them. With just one strike, the bird was defeated, and fresh blood sprayed everywhere. Indeed, fighting was not their specialty. That was why the divine tree had assigned them the task of communication and surveillance from the sky. Immediately after, the second bird slammed into his shoulder, directly tearing the ground. But this large guy was too tough. The bird's steel beak couldn't pierce through. The second bird was grabbed by his neck, and there was a loud squawk. With this much defense, all attempts at a sneak attack were useless. And when he squeezed harder, the bird's neck bones were crushed, and fresh blood spurted out. He squeezed even harder, the bird's eyes turned white, and it lost consciousness. He then lamented that this bird was too noisy. Aki couldn't do anything but carry the winged wolf and run away, with tears streaming down. But the guy below didn't think his escape was possible. He raised his hand and created a ball of spirit energy. Then he fired it straight at the beast flying in the sky. Aki felt death coming from behind him, and he was terrified and sweating. Then, there was a loud explosion in the sky, accompanied by a large smoke screen. The guy below felt that something was wrong, because the shot didn't seem to have gone as he had expected. Yes, something had blocked that shot. Was it the white monkey that had recovered? Now Aki would continue to fly forward, while the white monkey would hold these guys back. The small one warned his companion to be careful because the creature in front of him had a very strong source of spirit energy. But the big one was just excited, like playing a game. He was encountering stronger and stronger monsters. He would try to enjoy it. Suddenly, the white monkey smashed the ground, which surprised him. From the ground, a ball of spirit energy shot up, directly hitting him in the face. The attack directly filled the deep canyon with a powerful, storm-like stream of spirit energy. The small one exclaimed, asking his friend what the heck he was doing. Of course, there was too much smoke, so he couldn't see anything. It was just that over there, the white monkey had shot forward and pointed its tail at the guy's head. It was another terrifying attack, with a loud explosion. The white monkey stood still and observed, believing that its attack had hit its target. But unexpectedly, the other guy had quickly closed in, with a sharp blade. The white monkey immediately delivered a knee strike to his chest, directly sending him flying into the sky. This white monkey was truly not ordinary. Maybe he was a mutated version of the golden monkey? It's just that being beaten up like this only made the large one feel more excited. This joy was beyond his imagination. "You smelly monkey," he would kill it. The white monkey frowned. He wasn't being careless or underestimating his enemy. Now, the guy had taken off his mask. His clothes were also torn, revealing a strange body underneath. He declared that he would pluck off every single hair on his furry opponent's body. End of Chapter 314. Chapter 315. The white monkey stood somberly in front of his opponent. He had already sustained some injuries. As for the large guy, his eyes, as bright as a light bulb, stared intently at the one before him. Clearly, this monkey wasn't ordinary. But now, he wasn't hiding his strength anymore. A muscular body was revealed beneath his clothes. He was probably from the one-eyed giant race. He declared loudly, asking the white monkey to unleash all the power he had. Then, he directly threw a supersonic punch into the white monkey's face, causing fresh blood to splatter. The blows slammed the white monkey into the rock mountain, creating a loud crash. Now, the white monkey couldn't move. He had been buried deep within the rock. In that moment, he seemed to have lost consciousness. His opponent didn't have time to react. It was a good opportunity for the one-eyed giant to rush in for the kill. What was strange was that despite his large body, his movement speed was unbelievably fast. Sharp horns grew out of his hand, ensuring that his swipe would kill his enemy. No, it was a powerful jab at his opponent, directly crushing the place where the white monkey stood. A powerful shockwave pulverized the ground and spread outward. However, a foot kicked straight into his face. Then, the white monkey somehow jumped backward, creating some distance. It was just that he had suffered significant injuries. Even breathing was quite difficult now. The large one lifted his leg. But this time, the white monkey also threw a punch. Both of them simultaneously hit each other in the face. As he fought, he couldn't understand why a fourth-order creature could possess this kind of power. He actually wanted to be hit by the white monkey even more. Eh? Masochism? No. He was a battle maniac. The two grappled together, constantly trading fatal punches. Occasionally, the white monkey would also use monster bullets to add to the excitement and chip away at the large one's HP. It was just that these flames weren't easy to extinguish, making the one-eyed giant's face burn and sting. He continued to moan in pain. The battle had continued for quite a while. The white monkey was beginning to tire, having to kneel down to keep his body from falling. Seeing this, the one-eyed giant showed his disappointment. He told the white monkey that he couldn't defeat him if that was all he had. He told him to get up because he hadn't even warmed up yet. This statement made the white monkey feel insulted. He angrily gritted his teeth, while the two giants stood still and waiting for the monkey to try harder to bring them some more fun. The small one began to become impatient. He told his companion to stop playing because this monkey wasn't part of their target. However, the one-eyed giant didn't care. He angrily declared that killing them all was all that mattered, and the white monkey raised his hand. On it was the ring that the divine tree had given him before. It would help him to calm down. To recap that chapter, after the white monkey had finished evolving, the divine tree had detected that he contained a chaotic aura, with unstable properties, like the essence of destruction, along with a super terrifying source of spirit energy. So, the divine tree had to use this treasure ring to help regulate that flow of spirit energy. In other words, this monkey carried within him the mission of destruction and origin. If his controller wasn't the divine tree, mankind would be wiped out, and the monkey era would begin. But the white monkey had no other choice. He shattered the ring. A terrifying column of spirit energy shot straight into the atmosphere from his body. Clearly, if he didn't do this, he would die. The one-eyed giant was immediately startled. His eyes widened in shock. This was clearly still the same monkey, but his aura was too wild and powerful. As the roar finished, a lightning-fast punch jabbed straight into the one-eyed giant's body. Damn it, why did that hurt so much? The terrifying spirit energy following the force of the punch sent him flying thousands of meters away. The white monkey hadn't withdrawn his hand. It seemed the punch had pierced his body. As for him, his face was as cold as ice. As for the giant, he was scared, not because of his power, but because of his fighting spirit. A fighting spirit that was fearless, that didn't give up. The monkey punched like a machine. Hundreds of punches rained down on his enemy. But these blows didn't do anything to him. It was like a level 10 monster attacking a level 50 monster. No matter how hard he tried, the damage inflicted was negligible. Then, he threw a punch back at him. The white monkey was again thrown hard into the rock mountain. He immediately burst out of it. His face was even angrier now. This monkey would fight until death, no matter the circumstances. Once he removed the ring, no matter how strong his enemy was, he would fight until one of them was dead. The battle-maniac one-eyed giant widened his eyes, looking confused. Because the monkey's spirit energy had significantly increased again. All right, the one-eyed giant decided that he should respect his opponent, and show him a bit of his real strength. He raised his fist. It was a punch infused with purple spirit energy. While the white monkey had arrived, with the speed of a lightning bolt. While the giant had braced himself, and was laughing loudly, the place exploded. The shockwaves swept out powerfully, blowing away countless dust particles. He guessed that the battle was over now, because in that cloud of smoke, only one large figure remained. Fresh blood was smeared all over the one-eyed giant's face. He was also breathing heavily. He believed that his blow had been quite strong. The blood on his hand wasn't his. And he also had to acknowledge that the monkey was truly a formidable opponent. It was just a pity that the white monkey couldn't hear these words because he had been punched into a deep pit. End of chapter 3:15.